Hey guys, this is a time lapse of a pretty high loop run I ran with Necromancer. By the end of it I got almost 1700 resources because the final level has no resource cap. This build works really well on the second and third levels as well, so if you're running it on that, make sure you take the trait supplies because that lets you farm resources infinitely. This run took almost 3 hours before I finally died, but it could easily go longer without battlefields in the deck. There are going to be timestamps in the description if you want to jump around to see the different boss fights. So the build I'm going for in this run is a high attack speed and high skeleton level with at least 4 to 5 max skeletons. The perk that makes it all work together is laying down one's life, which splits all the damage I take among my skeletons. So having like 4 max skeletons is definitely a must. Unseen Care, which gives you permanent magic HP whenever you summon a skeleton, and Field Practice, which increases your skeleton level by 0.25 each loop. We want to get those as soon as possible. The antique shelf furniture, which you can equip in the supply screen, is also fantastic as it gives you +1 max HP for every whole resource you collect. So if you have 1 or 2 of them, you can take out mountains completely from your deck. As for your skills later on, you want to look out for Art of Control, which gets you an extra max skeleton, and Residual Heat, which restores health whenever your skeletons die. Lightning Fast is also good to help with some damage, and Ambitions of the Dead as well. Other than those, whatever helps with damage and resource collecting is great. As far as the deck goes, I always use Oblivion to take out the bandit camps and for just editing the map later on, and Arsenal for the extra item slot. That's just way too good to pass up on any of the classes. If you're using villages, make sure that you take out the bandit camps, because if the bandits destroy your items, the build can just completely fall apart and you'll probably die. You want to use forests and rivers together to get a very high attack speed, so try to hold off on putting forests and only going with thickets, especially next to the rivers. I love suburbs on this level because getting laid down one's life early is a must if you want to beat the Lich. Necromancer has a really tough time with him, but getting that perk almost guarantees you beat him. In future runs, I don't think I'm going to place down as many suburbs as I did, because the experience requirement after 5 or 6 levels takes like 15 or more loops to reach. If you have some antique shells, then I'd recommend completely taking out mountains and using deserts instead. Temporal Beacon is great for speeding up the game and getting some more maginess to kill so you could farm some astral orbs. Road lanterns are definitely a must to keep the enemy spawns down, and bookeries are really fantastic in the early game because you want to try to limit the amount of tiles the Lich's palace takes up when he spawns in. Getting the correct hearts is super important. They also work really well with vampire mansions because they let you fight vampire mages when you overlap them. I use blood groves, but you want to be careful because the flesh golems they spawn can be pretty tough. The one card to definitely replace is Battlefield. I really like battlefields in the early game because blood clots are really good for farming cards and items, but later on, the ghosts that spawn are like the only things that can kill you. If you want to see how, you can check out the end of the video. I'm probably going to replace them with ruins for the extra resource farm, and the range guys are kind of annoying, but they're really not strong in melee combat, so they shouldn't be a problem. Smith's Forge is also great, but any other cards you can kind of mix and match. So that's it for the build and deck. Some last tips would be to always corrupt your villages by placing vampire mansions next to them. Anyways, thanks for watching, and here's the rest of the time lapse.
But if this brings you just a little closer to those men who are going into the hottest spots, I hope that it will help you to do a better job. Better job. I hope that it will help you to do a better job.
Welcome to the end of the video. This is the moment I finally die, all because of these battlefields. So, battlefields have a chance to spawn a ghost whenever an enemy dies in its range. And those ghosts can spawn a ghost of a ghost. And then those have a chance to spawn prime matter. These are super nice in early levels because they give you a ton of resources, but at level 4, they get this new ability that instantly kills you after it hits you 6 times. For some reason, all of these ghosts have really insane defense values, really high evade as well, and counterattack, so they take forever to kill with this build. I was trying to delete all my battlefields earlier because I lost my resurrection to another prime matter, but I couldn't get rid of them in time. And I'm thinking of making some more time lapses with different builds on each hero, so if you want to see those, let me know. Anyways, thanks for watching. Peace.